Marhaba guys, Kifkam, how are you all? So today I wanted to expand a little bit more on a kind of a big topic that I loosely touched on at the end of my last video. I also find this really interesting because it's not just like I am reflecting on myself and my personal experiences, but I also feel like a lot of what I want to explore in this video is kind of, it gives insight to the culture, and basically that's what I want to do with my videos, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Before I get started, I want to mention that I'm wearing this beautiful custom necklace. It says my name, Rachel, on it, and it was made by the amazing jewellery company Amman. I hope I said that right. If you are in this region and the family isn't intervening for some reason, then I would say that something is a little bit off, because you expect families to intervene, but definitely wherever there is a strong family unit, and that's how everyone kind of stays together. That's how you keep everyone smushy and in each other's faces, but also looking after each other. So yes, families here intervene. No, I'm not lucky because I don't have a family that intervenes. My family does intervene. But it's more about your outlook and how you look at it. A classic example of this, personal example, is that every time I've been to a wedding or a party or anything like that, like 99% of the time I've ended up wearing a dress that I don't feel super comfortable in, or makeup that I feel comfortable with, or my hair, or the general look, I probably don't feel that comfortable. I always want to minimize everything, and Arabs want to maximize everything if it's a party. And that's definitely not my kind of way, but I always end up wearing the big dress, doing the big makeup, doing the big hair, with some compromise, not because I'm being forced to, and it did feel like that in the beginning, but the idea is that you're going to these events as a part of a bigger thing. It's not just you, you're not just an individual, you're part of the family unit, and by extension you're part of the society. So I wear the big dress, I wear the big makeup, and I get on with it. But I think a lot of youth, especially like in more like modern generations, really rail against that because they want the feeling of individualism, they want to be their own person, they want to express their individuality. I come from a place where that is strongly encouraged, and to the extent where people are so obsessed with being individual that they're kind of not even being themselves anymore. But I get here in this culture where the youth are now turning around and saying like, I want to be my own person, I want to do things differently. That is natural, that's part of change, and that's just part of life. And I get it, I totally get it, because the society is judgmental. I get that a lot in my comments where people are like, oh, you're making it out to sound like Jordan something. It's not. It is judgmental. It's a conservative society. You can't have the conservative bit and not be judgmental. It just kind of goes hand in hand. But there's two ways of looking at family intervention. One way is to say that I totally reject this. I see this as a power struggle, and I'm gonna win, and I'm not gonna change myself or compromise. That's fair enough, fair dues, each to their own. I was kind of doing that in the beginning, I've got to be honest. And it wasn't making me very happy. The other way to look at family intervention is to see yourself as part of something bigger. Their successes are your successes are theirs, your failures are theirs, it's all shared. And you are all invested in each other's futures, in each other's success, in each other's lives. You're fully invested. So naturally, you have people overstepping the boundary. And as well, a good thing to remember if you're a foreign wife is that it's not just you that's going through this. It's not just you who's finding like that the family's just like really too in your face. The family are feeling that about each other as well. Like, everyone's irritated with everybody stepping on each other's toes. And that truly means that you've been like initiated into the family. So you can choose to see that as something actually really cool. Like, it's something really great that you are completely involved and people really care about you. And I think that the most important thing to remember is that when you're a foreigner, not everything is foreign because you're a foreigner. I think sometimes you forget like, oh, this happens actually where I'm from. but because I'm in a foreign place, I think that this is a foreign thing. Like, it's very easy to judge, to blame the whole country or to blame all the people and lose sight of the fact that these behaviours are everywhere. So here are some examples of things that foreign wives or foreigners and their local adopted family tend to fall out over. I guess these are like the things that are most important to us as mothers or as wives or as women or whatever, like our babies, our wedding day, like everything else is kind of manageable. The whole culture around weddings is just really different, and I see all the time people falling out with their in-laws about this because they want their wedding to be in a certain way, or they look back on their weddings and they're really disappointed. But the ones that are always the happiest are the one, like there's two. There's one type that got to have their foreign wedding back home. So they had two weddings, so they didn't really mind. They had like crazy Arab wedding here. And then the second one, when I say crazy, I'm not being insulting. I just mean like they're extra. The second one is the one who says, like, c'est la vie, it was so much fun, I embraced it, I danced my butt off and I just had loads of fun and I kind of let go of all my expectations. So the next one is overdressing babies. This one is just comes up all the time as being a really, really big problem for people, and they don't know how to navigate it. So people here like to see babies really wrapped up. No problem to see sweat on their heads. Whereas, you know, where I'm from, we are strongly advised by health professionals not to do that, and that can be quite distressing for us to see. So that's also really distressing for locals to see babies being underdressed. With Hashim, I have loosened the reins a bit, and I make sure that whenever I am around extended family, especially older family and things like that, I just wrap him up. I avoid the sweat if I can, but generally I will add an extra layer or two when I'm around those people, because you're not going to change their mind at the end of the day, and you're just going to make everybody miserable. Again, with babies is about formula feeding. So people often think that because we're in an Islamic country that means everybody will be really pro breastfeeding, and actually Jordan has got like one of the lowest rates in the region for breastfeeding. So especially with older generations, they really believe that formula is the best way, and it's going to give your child the best start for life, and it's going to fatten them up nicely, and your natural milk can't compete with formula. With Adham, I was like, to hell with you all. And with Hashim, I started bottle feeding him when I was around extended family, just so I could avoid that conversation. So yes, I do of course experience families intervening and getting in my business, and I do sometimes feel like, God, before I came to Jordan, I used to make all my decisions on my own. I made the decision to come to Jordan on my own without consulting anyone. I just moved. But now I actively seek out the opinion of my family. I know that everything that they're thinking, or every opinion that they have, comes from a really good place. So I know that they're going to give me their best advice that they can. So yeah, you could find it really invasive if your extended family came and cleaned your house for you, or if your extended family en masse comes and visits you in the hospital when you've just had surgery. I get that, you could find that really awful. But you could also like turn a blind eye to those things that make you feel bad, and see that there's so much good in those things, like they're coming from a good place. Like, wow, my sister-in-law came and cleaned my whole house twice this month, by the way. She helped me clean it when we moved in, for no gain, she wasn't getting anything out of that in any way. She wasn't expecting me to give her something in return. The extended family came and visited me, the foreign wife who doesn't speak Arabic and who's never really had a conversation with anyone. They all came and visited me after I'd had surgery. They came from miles away. They fought through the Amman traffic just to say salamtik. How nice is that? And while these people want me to wear this huge sparkly dress and all of this makeup so that I fit in and that I fit with their theme for their wedding or their party, because they care that I'm involved and that I'm there. So maybe in my last video I didn't mean that I'm so lucky that I don't have this intervening Arab family stereotype thing going on, but actually I've been given the opportunity to embrace and integrate into the craziness and the loveliness that is an Arab family, and I feel really blessed to be part of that. I feel like this was a long video. I hope that was interesting for you in some way. Please like, subscribe, leave me a comment with your experiences or your comments. below. Okay, bye.